Okay, so I'm going to show you how to record the dry and the wet, that's the unprocessed and the processed sounds from Pod Farm in Reaper. So first of all, you need to open Pod Farm up. And once it's opened, you need to select a patch and open it, or create a new one. So we're just going to go and open up one that I've already created previously. Don't worry too much about where I'm going on my PC to open it. It's in a different folder than the default. So now we've done that, we can have a look at the mixer tab over on the left hand side, and you can see there's two record sends, the 1 and 2, because it's a stereo send, or it can be. And at the moment 1 and 2 is the dry input, so that's basically the sound of your guitar just there at the beginning of the signal chain before it's gone through any effects. And then at the moment 3 and 4 we're going to have it selected as mix tone 1 and 2, so that's basically the sound you hear through your headphones or your speakers when you're using some effects and some amps in Pod Farm. If we only have one tone, it actually just calls it the processed output. But when using dual, it calls it mix tone 1 and tone 2. You can, if you notice there, you can select just tone 1 or just tone 2. So if you wanted to record them separately, you could. So you'd use record send 1 and 2 for maybe tone 1 and 3 and 4 for tone 2. But in this instance, we want to record the dry signal, so that's the way we're going to do it. We're going to have a dry signal and then a mixed from tone 1 and tone 2 processed or wet signal. So if we go ahead and open up Reaper, create a new project, and then in here you could go new project there if you hadn't opened the new project specific shortcut, but we want to check the audio device, so options, preferences, and then audio device, and we want to make sure it's on ASIO, and then Toneport UX2. And then here, this is important, you need to make sure that the first one is set to 1 and the last input is set to 4. By default it's 1 and 2, because we're going to be using record send 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's important. Anyway, right click and insert some new tracks. You'll need 3. Drag in the backing track into one of them, that's fine. And then in the other one, you want to select the little button at the side with the R for record. In one of the tracks, you want send 1. The other one, you want send 3 and 4. And that's because the dry input is mono anyway, so you only need send 1, so it's mono. The output is stereo, so that's 3 and 4. If you had set to just tone 1 or tone 2, you'd still have it in stereo, because think about it, you've got stereo can be on both tones, so it's kind of both the left outputs from both the tracks are on one and both the rights on the other stereo channel. Okay, so if you press record, you can play into it, and you can obviously then you can record a dry track. As you see, from send 1 is dry and send 3 and 4 is your wet track. And basically it's as simple as that. Obviously with a dry track, if you've got Pod Farm plugin, you can then reamp it if you like. There you go. You can delete all, delete selected, or save all. We want to save all in this instance. Okay, so basically when you've got the tracks you want to record, select the MP3 encoder, at least 192 bitrate, select the directory you want to put them in, and then click process. Now, just a quick word on the MP3 lame encoder. That doesn't come by default with Reaper, so what you'll have to do is just Google it. Basically, just Google MP3 lame Reaper, and you should be able to download it from somewhere. If not, you can always encode to a WAV file, and there's plenty of free WAV to MP3 conversion tools out there. Now, if we have a quick look in the folder we saved it all into, you'll notice them two are your wet and your dry tracks. You don't need to worry too much about the backing track there, because you've already got that elsewhere. So what we need to do is we also want to make sure you save the tone file as well that you've used. And basically that's it, the tone file and then the two tracks, the dry and the wet track, and that's all you need to upload for the jam. Cheers.